If you've ever wanted to know the best month to buy a house in the Atlanta market, this video is for you. I've been working with buyers for 26 years, and every single year I get the same question over and over and over again, and it's this: what is the best time to buy a house in Atlanta? So today, this video is going to cover just that. Now, if you ask any realtor what is the best month to buy a home in the Atlanta area or the worst month to buy a home in the Atlanta area, they're probably going to tell you, oh, it's always a good time to buy a home in the Atlanta area market. And I want to tell you that that is not true. So I went back and studied the last 6 years of the North Metro Atlanta real estate market, and what I uncovered surprised me. The stat that I studied for this was the sales price to the original list price. And the reason why I studied this particular stat for this video is because that tells us how much the seller negotiated off of their original asking price. And a lot of buyers want that negotiation power. And sometimes of the year you get more off the price, and sometimes you get far less. I'm gonna teach you how to save over $20,000 in negotiations today. So let's get started with what is the worst time of year to purchase a house in Atlanta. I define worst time of year when you're looking for the most negotiation power possible. You want to get the seller down as far as you can get that seller. And the month that offers you the most negotiation power in the Metro Atlanta market is the month of January. That's right, the first month of the year in Metro Atlanta offers you the biggest gap between the list price and the sales price. Now let's break this down a little bit. Over the last 6 Januaries, buyers on average paid 96.2% of the original asking price. Now, what that means is if they closed in January, they actually went under contract probably mid-November to beginning of December. So right away, that means that you've got to be shopping for a home when a lot of other people have decided that they're going to hunker down for the holidays and not do any more shopping. Now, when you're shopping for homes in the fourth quarter of any year in Metro Atlanta, you probably are going to find that there's not a lot of inventory to pick from, okay? And you're probably going to find that the inventory that's left to pick from, especially when we get to December, is the inventory that nobody else wanted in the summer and fall market. So can you get the best deal when you close in January? Absolutely you can. Is it going to be the newest, best listings of the year? No, it's probably not going to be. But that's what you're going to sacrifice if your goal is to have the most negotiation power possible. Now, there are other months that you can save money as well. Maybe not as much as January, but you can still have a good bit of negotiation power compared to the rest of the year. And depending on the year, those months have either been October, November, December, or February. So we're really looking at that late fourth quarter, start of first quarter. So if you want to be really strategic about this in 2025, and your number one goal is not to maybe find the best property for you and your family, or maybe it's definitely not going to be getting in before the new school year starts. If your number one goal is to have the most negotiation power, then you really need to get serious about making offers around that November time period. And then you have really until January to secure a property. And that is when that November, December, January timeframe, that's when you're gonna save the most money in Metro Atlanta. Now, let's flip that over. What are the worst months of the year to purchase a home? Now, I'm shooting this video, it's January 2025. So we're actually gonna be going into some pretty busy months. And what I want you to remember too, there's 2 years of pent-up buyer demand that's just been waiting, sitting on the sidelines to get in the market. One huge uncertainty that's now certain is who's going to be president. And whether Trump is your guy or not your guy, no matter what, a big uncertainty is taken out of the market, and the market is reacting accordingly. Rates still may seem high compared to years past, but I'm not seeing that stop buyers like it did over the past 2 years come out. So if you're a buyer in 2025, you're probably going to have more competition than you would have had over the past year and a half. So we've already talked about how you can probably save yourself some money. Let's talk about the months where you have the least amount of negotiation leverage, and that is going to be the month of May. So this probably doesn't come as a surprise, but if you are going under contract in mid-March to April and closing in May, you are in the spring selling season. And that is when a lot of people choose to list their homes and choose to buy homes. The reason why that is because A, you're kind of coming out of this depths of winter doldrums and you're ready to get out and be outside and get out of the housing situation that you're currently living in, and you want to start summer in your new home. You might also need to get in there before the next school year starts, which around Metro Atlanta is going to be that beginning of August timeframe. So if you're waiting until the spring to buy, like so many other people, that means that you're going to have more competition from other buyers when you're shopping within the same pool of inventory. And even when we had more inventory in 2024, we were still in a seller's market. If we put more buyers on top of that this year and inventory doesn't catch up, which I don't think it will, it's going to be a very competitive spring and summer market. So May is the worst time to close on a home in Metro Atlanta if your number one goal is to negotiate the most off of the asking price. Because in May, buyers average over the last 6 years paying 99.8% of the original asking price. So let's do a little math. Let's say you're shopping for a home for $800,000 and you close in May versus closing in January. The difference that we're talking about is about an average of 3.6% more that you're going to pay for the same property in the spring selling season than you would in December or January. If you're buying an $800,000 house, that could be a $29,000 savings that you have just because of the time of year that you purchase your home. But that could be a risky move to wait, because you're going to have the most inventory come on the market between February and around that June timeframe. But if you're going to let all that great inventory go in the hopes that you can save more money by buying something in December or January, you just have to understand that you run the risk that the inventory that you're left with might not be the best inventory for you and your family. But again, everyone has different priorities when they're purchasing. Now, when I was researching this and running all of this data, I got real curious. What was the absolute worst month to ever buy a home in Atlanta if negotiating the most off the asking price was your number one priority? And that month was April of 2022, where buyers on average paid 103.2% of the original asking price. Guys, those days are gone. So in 2024, the highest average list of sales price that a buyer paid was in the month of May again, and they paid 98.1%. There's three things that I want you to think about if you're going to be purchasing a home in 2025, and you need to be thinking about them right now. So what does all this mean if you're a buyer in 2025? I want you to imagine a triangle. Actually, we could probably just draw one for you right here. Here's a triangle. At the top of that triangle is location, okay? This is the location that works best for you and your family as it relates to commuting to work, where schools are, and all of the things that you want to be close to, okay? Bottom right is going to be your must-haves. This will include things like square footage. Do you need a basement? Do you want a pool? Must it be renovated? Is it okay if it needs some work? Number of bedrooms and bathrooms, things like that. And then bottom left is going to be your price range, okay? In the middle of the triangle is your time frame. This is a really good visual for you to build with your family as you guys are thinking about what's important to you guys in terms of location, price point, must-haves, and time frame. Once you have all of that built out, then I want you to play the game of, if you had to concede on one of those things, what is it, okay? If you knew that you could get the location that you wanted and all of the features that you wanted, but you had to pay a little bit more in price, would that be okay? Or is your price point a hard price point such that if you can't get everything that you want in the location that you want, you're willing to give up a little bit on your location or a little bit on your must-have list? And finally, if you can be flexible in what your must-haves are, then are you okay being flexible if it means that you get the location and the price point that you want? Those are all the things that I help you work through. So if you are planning a move, reach out to me through my Calendly link in the description of this video, and I'll be happy to go through this exercise with you or help you break it down when you've done it as it relates to really what's available in the Metro Atlanta market in your price range, location, and must-haves. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and click that subscribe button, click the like button, and if you've got tips for 2025 home buyers related to any of this, or if you've got specific questions about areas, go ahead and pop a comment down in the comment box. I read all of them, I respond to all of them. And again, I hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.